And before we move on to the next segment, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Anand Bala, Commercial and SMB Sales Leader, India and SAARC from Zoom for a keynote session. And the topic that he's going to speak on is Crack the Core for Better CX.
Thank you, one, for being here. But more importantly, thank you for supporting us over the last 4 or 5 years as we've been in the India market. And we could not have been where we are and shown the growth that we've shown without the support, backing and feedback of the customers that we have in this region. And startups have been a very, very, very large chunk of my business. And they have provided a lot of feedback for us to grow. So allow me to say thank you. Thank you for your business. Thank you for your feedback. And thank you for making sure that we continue to innovate and in many senses continue to direct the trajectory of collaboration in the market, right? So we've grown. All that feedback, all the users that we've got in. We didn't ask to be chosen a few years ago. Somebody said, can somebody put their hand up when everything went south? People said, can somebody do it? We did. And we scaled without batting an eyelid, right? We grew from what folks assumed was a meetings and chat company way back in 2011 and 14. I started using Zoom first around 2016, where the chat functionality was what actually floored me in terms of the way it works. And that's when I really got interested in saying I want to work with Zoom. Eventually, I did join Zoom and join part of the India team pretty early on. But we've grown from being what was considered a meetings company. Now, I don't know how many of you know, and we've got a mail service. We've got a calendar service. We've got a contact center. We've got a PBX on the cloud. But I think one fundamental factor of everything that we have, not just that it's on one platform with a consistent user interface, but I think what's important is it delivers 3 things. 1, it's easy to use. So it becomes very easy to use for your end customers. I still don't have a customer that tells me, Anand, your product is complicated, forget it, I can't do anything, I can't start a meeting. Nobody's ever come back and told us that. And that applies even to products like contact center, right? Our BSDK and MSDK customers say integration is fairly straightforward, easy. It's easy for us to quickly plug in that video. Easy to use, a consistent user interface, secure, and most importantly, scale. I think we heard in the last panel, there was a conversation around you want to make the right choices around your applications early. And you want to make it in such a way that you're not investing early around your applications as a startup. You're not investing too much early and figuring out that it's not the right fit. I think that's where we come in. Many, many startups have started with us and we've continued to grow through that journey with them. So allow me once again to take the opportunity to say thank you. What's bothering folks today in the workplace, and this is just not true for SMBs or startups or enterprise, it cuts across the board, right? Most of us feel, I want to be working. I don't want to be repeating repetitive tasks, okay? I know AI is the flavor of the month, but we have been working with AI for about 4 years now in many ways. We've had green screens, we've had closed captioning, we brought in a company called Kite about 3 years ago that did live translations, that adds in, right? We've now got a federated approach to artificial intelligence that allows us to kind of take this pain away, where we are able to allow users to use AI in a very empowered, trusted, and secured manner. When I say trusted, I mean you have to opt in. I repeat, you have to opt in to allow my LLMs or Zoom's LLMs or the models that we use to be trained. So it's a very trusted model, and more importantly, it integrates across the platform. In the last panel also, this was touched upon, but we do know that there is a ton of applications out there. When I log into my Okta, I'll be honest, even I have about 50, 60 tiles that I can see. But one thing that kind of cuts through all the silos that we are having to deal with within the workplace as we are setting up an organization, one thing that's able to cut through all of this and work across it like a platform is a collaboration platform, right? Whether it be somebody who's customer facing or somebody way in the back who's trying to help a sales rep trying to construct a legal contract to close a deal, whether it be the legal team, whether it be folks in operations, whether it be somebody in R&D, The one thing that's able to cut consistently across different silos that we end up building is a collaboration platform. And if you want this to be able to cut across, if you want folks in different teams to be able to talk together, you need that collaboration platform to be able to easily integrate with the applications that you've already invested in. So what's the secret to be able to how can you manage to break these silos down in a very efficient manner? I spoke about artificial intelligence, right? Federated, empowered, secured. That approach has also meant that, and something that's come up again and again, how do you deliver this efficiently, right? How do you deliver this in a way that reduces cost? The way we've kind of set it up is to say, if I use this federated approach, it means that I'm able to deliver it to you at no additional cost, right? The AI, and it's cutting through my meeting. So for example, every single sales meeting of mine gets transcribed at the end of the call. It's automatic. That transcription goes back into my CRM system. And if I join my calls late, I'm also very easily able to plug in a quick message on my AI thing that says, what did I miss? How many times was my name mentioned? It's a very empowering, easy way for us to say, let me focus on what's important without having to do those repetitive tasks. We've proven this over the last few years where you can make these connections very meaningful. These events aren't going anywhere. They will continue to happen. Large events, face-to-face sales meetings, people coming back into office, that is going to continue to happen. But what's also going to grow is the ability to connect to people in virtual/hybrid environments. How do you make those connections more meaningful? How do you create an application that's easy to use, seamless, and also allows people to come in and participate, right? And what we've learned is we need to focus, of course, on companies being able to engage with their end customers in a very seamless manner. Can, for example, somebody, let me try and illustrate this with a few examples, right? I'll jump straight in there. We've got a customer in Australia, a large retail customer who has, I was speaking about this to a couple of people outside. They've developed an e-commerce platform in addition to a chain of stores. And they found that they have a very high drop rate. People are coming in, they're doing all the research they need. They're about to make that decision, but there's that buyer fear, right? Buyer's remorse, as they would call it, saying, should I go ahead with this or not? We have just given this company the ability to say, start a video call. One click and the call starts. The impact is a 60% conversion. Of every person who makes the call, 6 out of 10 are converting and the sale is actually going through. A very simple, straightforward integration that leads to more revenue, a very efficient way to deliver this. Previous panel also alluded to regulatory concerns, right? How many of us today feel comfortable pushing personal or personal identifiable information over WhatsApp? None of us, I think, do today. We're not at all comfortable doing that, saying why. We've got the ability to work in a very, very compliant manner and to integrate with the applications that you are using. But more importantly, if, for example, you are in an advisory business, how can you connect in a very seamless way with H&I kind of customers, right? If you've got an advisory business and you need to make sure that every single call of yours is logged, is auditable, is monitored, can be tracked, we have the capability to help you do that as well. And we've got customers around the world who have achieved this, right? If I were to go to smaller kind of use cases outside of the financial sector, something as simple as I'm a customer, I'm struggling with something like I'm not able to start up my application, or I'm not able to start up a piece of hardware that I brought. Being able to just integrate into an application or via an email or via an SMS that says, don't worry, we're here for you. If you click this, it'll start a call. Somebody will be here to walk you through this process. Especially when you're dealing with slightly larger transactions where a completely automated line or a completely automated process may not work. This allows you to not only retain your customers, but also make sure that you are moving towards conversion. If I were to look at my platform as in a slightly different way, I would put it in 2 different buckets. One that's facing your team and internal, which is the workplace component. Almost all of us are familiar with that. We've got the meetings, we've got the calendaring, all the office productivity tools that most of us are already using coming together under one product with AI included as well. Then We've got, for marketers, we've got our events, sessions, and webinar solutions, which means that how can I take an event like this, where there's a tremendous amount of marketing content that we are putting together to be able to come here, speak, talk, different people coming here and speaking and talking. That's a lot of effort that's gone into creating that content. How can we reuse that content and take it to a larger audience? How do we integrate this with our MarTech kind of budgets, where we've got all the leads coming in? How do I use now this collateral that I've created and run it and engage with customers? Webinars, sessions, events with capabilities such as studios, booths, events, the whole works, right? But I think what would interest this audience the most, so I'm trying to focus on slides that you may find of most interest as I've been here walking through the day on the panel, is the developer ecosystem. You take all these products together, you can say, Anand, I don't need all these bells and whistles. I don't need to have a contact center application. I just want to speak to my customers through video. And I don't want to know that you're doing it through Zoom. I'm building a healthcare application. I'm building an online store. I just want the video. Yes, you can take the video feed, you can take the audio feed, and quickly integrate it into the application that you're developing. With the same advantage, that will work seamlessly. It'll also work in low bandwidth areas, and we know that we've been able to scale it, and we've proven multiple times that we can scale this. So Zoom's video SDK and Zoom's meeting SDK, which comes with more features, are more tightly coupled with any applications that you may be building, right? So on the developer ecosystem, many startups have started integrating with collaboration, only because it's a very efficient way at lower cost to be able to connect and engage with customers, right? Let me just go before I come back to that. One sec. Here we go. Why am I recommending, or why am I walking through this? One, on the VSDK and MSDK front, it's a proven platform in terms of the fact that we've scaled in the past. The quality of video, scale is what we've achieved. Pricing, we've now got models where you can do a pay-as-you-go on the pricing front. And recently, Twilio, which had a video SDK, and many folks in India and abroad have developed a lot of their video-based collaboration on Twilio. Twilio has announced an end of life, and Twilio customers also have now started migrating to Zoom, because Twilio has said Zoom is our chosen partner for migration. So from that perspective, most video collaboration is possible via our VSDKs and MSDKs, but it's just not the video piece, right? To be able to take that and plug it back in to your systems. Can I get this information back into my CRM? Can I, for example, integrate a DocuSign where I want to even close out a contract? Can I, for example, build a proctoring solution where I want to have multiple screens and I want somebody remotely to be able to see whether students are taking that exam? So the use cases are across industries and segments, right? Let me just go back there. We've now finally got this contact center in India. Most of us on the India team were waiting. It's seen a tremendous amount of adoption, particularly in the startup and digital native space, where it's a very quick implementation. You can either choose to have it with audio, that is on phone, or like we've just been winning a lot of our deals in India currently, you can choose to have a contact center that's video first, where the person would come onto the website, request for a call, schedule it, it will be routed through to the appropriate agent, that's connected back to the CRM, everything that you'd expect a contact center to do. And let me just play this through. Oops. How do I play this video, guys? Just hit play. I prefer sharing screen and doing this stuff, so sorry. For some reason, I'm not able to get this to play, but don't worry, we'll come back to that. With that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Just one final call out. I'd like to thank Tech United. They've been one of our largest partners in this country. They've been part of our journey over the last 5 years in the India market. They made sure we would be here. We've got Tech United and my team out at the booth. So if you have any questions for us or want to know how we are working with people in the startup space, we are happy to walk you through that. So with that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure, and looking forward to meet you over lunch. Thank you.